Hello everyone, this is Satyam Zoology and welcome to my channel. Okay, so in this video, now I am going to explain about the internal structure of the heart. Okay, right. So when we discuss about the internal structure of the heart, it includes mainly four chambers. Okay, so right, in the human heart there are four chambers. In these four chambers, two are auricles and two are ventricles. So means here, okay, auricles and ventricles, two type of chambers are there. So these auricles are the upper chambers, ventricles are the lower chambers, and so these auricles are called as receiving chambers. Receiving chambers means they can receive deoxygenated blood from the all body parts, so that is why we call these are the receiving chambers, means auricles are receiving chambers. So here the ventricles are called sending chambers. Okay, sending chambers means this ventricles will send blood to the all body parts. So next one, so okay, these are smaller chambers, means auricles are always smaller in size, so that is why we call, when compared to the ventricles, auricles are very smaller, so that is why we call smaller chambers. These are the larger chambers, right? Okay, right. So let's we discuss about the internal structure of the heart. So with the help of a rough diagram for better understanding, so I will draw a rough diagram. So okay, right. So this is the structure of the internal structure of the heart in the human beings, right? Okay. Okay, this is the rough diagram of the heart in the human beings. Okay, okay, right. This is the structure of the heart. We will see that here. this is the this one is a left auricle, this one is a right auricle. So this is the left ventricle, this one is, this chamber is, so right ventricle. Okay, right. So the septum which separates the two auricles is called or interauricular septum. The septum which separates the two auricles is called interauricular septum. So the septum which separates two ventricles is called interventricular septum. Inter means in between. So that is why interventricular septum which separates the two ventricles internally. Yes. So the septum which separates the auricles and ventricles is called, so this is the auriculoventricular septum. Yes. So this septum is called, so this one, okay. So interauricular septum. Yes. So on this septum, okay, at the embryonic stage on the interauricular septum there is a hole. Okay, so there is a hole, so or pore, so that hole, the hole is, it is remains, it present in the interauricular septum. So this hole, it is present in the embryonic stage only, so that hole we call it is a, so okay, foramen ovale, right. So this foramen ovale will close at the time of delivery when lungs are getting functional. So when lungs are getting functional at the time of delivery, so this hole will close, means after delivery, after baby birth, so okay, this will close, but there is a remnant present of this foramen ovale, means there is a depression like structure is present at the, okay, where the foramen ovale present at the embryonic stage after delivery also. So that remnant, if the remnant is present, so it will closes, but there is a depression like structure present at the embryonic stage. So that depression is called fossa ovalis. Fossa ovalis. Fossa ovalis. It is a so remnant of the foramen oval. So after baby birth, in some time, sometimes in some persons, so this foramen oval will not close. It remains after delivery also. Means this hole, this pore, it is present after delivery also. Means it is the abnormal condition. This abnormality, it creates some complications in that person. So means, so when the hole it remains open after delivery also, so that hole, okay, that hole or that abnormality we call it is a patent foramen oval. Okay, patent foramen oval. So this is the abnormal condition so of a person. There are mainly so two main veins are there. They are so precaval vein and postcaval vein. So we will discuss about those two veins. Okay, so always the veins open, okay, in auricles. That is why we call auricles are the receiving chambers. So the vein, okay, this vein is called, it is the precaval vein. Precaval vein. This precaval vein is also called as, so it is a superior vena cava. Superior vena cava. Superior vena cava is also called as precaval vein. Next one, another vein, large vein opens in right atrium. So this will come here, and it will run behind the heart, and it opens here. So that's why I draw this vein here. So the vein or the Rajan vein, okay, which opens in the right atria here. Okay, right. So this larger vein is called, it is the inferior vena cava. It is the inferior vena cava. Inferior, so vena cava. This inferior vena cava is also called as postcaval vein. So this one is precaval. So okay, this is the postcaval vein, right? So this precaval vein receives, okay, this precaval vein, okay, receives blood from so upper parts of the body, means for forelimbs and thoracic region and head. So precaval vein receives deoxygenated blood from the forelimbs and head and thoracic region. Next one, this postcaval vein, it receives deoxygenated blood from so lower parts of the body, means abdomen first of all. So hind limbs, abdomen, yes, okay, abdomen and abdominal organs. So means this postcaval vein, it receives deoxygenated blood from lower body parts. The blood vessel which receives blood from the okay myocardium of the heart is called, it is the coronary sinus. The coronary sinus opens here. Coronary sinus, just it opens here, you see that. Okay, right. So this blood vessel we call, it is a coronary sinus. It is a coronary sinus. Yes, it receives blood from the myocardium of the heart. It okay receives blood from myocardium, means muscles of the heart. Myocardium of the heart, right. Next, so pulmonary veins, they are 4 in number here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 pulmonary veins, they receive deoxygenated blood from the lungs. They are 4 in number. So these are called pulmonary veins. These pulmonary veins receive blood from the lungs. The blood which is receiving from the lungs, it is oxygenated. Why it is oxygenated? The exchange of gases takes place in the lungs. That is why. So there is a from lungs we get so oxygenated blood. Okay, oxygenation takes place in the lungs. That is why. So pulmonary veins receive oxygenated blood from lungs. Two veins comes from left lung and other two veins comes from right lung. So these pulmonary veins receive oxygenated blood from lungs. Okay, so this is the oxygenated. In all veins except pulmonary vein, they are containing deoxygenated, but in case of pulmonary vein, so it contains oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood. Okay, right. So next one. So in these blood vessels, in these veins, some of them are having walls. Wall nothing but a structure which is present in a veins. So it allows the blood in unidirectional, means the wall, it is a structure, so it allows the blood in only single direction, in forward direction only. So it allows the blood in a unidirectional. So that is why. So this post caval vein, it is having wall in it at the opening. So the wall which is present at the post caval vein, so that wall is called, so the wall is called, it opens in the post caval vein, it is called, it is the Eustachian wall. Eustachian wall. Okay, right. So means it allows blood into the right auricle, but it prevents the reverse flow of the blood from the right auricles into the post caval, means it prevents the reverse flow of the blood. So that is why it allows only unidirectional management. It allows into the auricle only, it prevents the blood reverse flow into the post caval vein. That is why. So it present at the opening of the post caval vein. That vein is called, it is the Eustachian vein. Next one. So pulmonary veins, pulmonary veins does not have any wall. Pulmonary veins does not have any wall, and also precaval vein is also, it is not having any type of wall. But here there is a another blood vessel which receives blood from the heart of the wall, that is called coronary sinus. This coronary sinus, it is having a wall, so at the opening into the right atrium. So that wall is called Thebaceous wall. Thebaceous wall. Okay, that is the Thebaceous wall. Okay, that is the Thebaceous wall. Next one. So this is about the auricles. Next we will discuss about the ventricles. Okay, so already I told that the septum which separates the two auricles is called interauricular septum. Next one. So I will write here the septum. So I wrote here the interauricular septum. So next one here, the septum which separates two ventricles is called, it is the interventricular septum. It is called interventricular septum. This is called interventricular septum. Right. Next one. So here the septum which separates the auricles and ventricles is called, so it is a auriculoventricular septum. Here this total from here to here, in this septum there are apertures, there are openings, but this is a septum. So this septum is called, it is a auriculoventricular septum. This one is called, it is a auriculoventricular septum. which separate the auricles and ventricles, two auricles and two ventricles. So at the opening of the auricles into the ventricles, so there is a hole or there is a aperture. So one aperture present at the left side and another aperture present at the right side. So this opening or this aperture is called, this is called, it is the aperture which present at the in between the left auricles and left ventricle is called, so this aperture is called, so left auriculoventricular aperture, left auriculoventricular aperture. So the aperture which present at the, so opening of, at the opening of means the aperture which present in between the right auricle and right ventricle is called, it is a, so right auriculoventricular aperture, right auriculoventricular aperture, in between the right auricle and right ventricle, that is why it is, we call it is a right auriculoventricular aperture, right. Next one, so at the opening of this aperture means at the left auricular ventricular aperture, there is a wall, there is a wall. So this wall is called bicuspid wall, this is called bicuspid wall, this is called bicuspid, I will write here. So this one is called bicuspid valve. So this bicuspid wall is also called as mitral valve, it is also called as mitral valve. Next one, at the opening of the right auriculoventricular aperture, there is also one wall. So this wall is called, it is a tricuspid wall, this is called here. So I will write here, so I will write here, this is called, it is a tricuspid wall, tricuspid valve. Tricuspid wall means there are three cusps in this wall. Bicuspid wall means there are two cusps in this wall. Okay, right. Next we will discuss about the ventricles. So I already told that ventricles are the lower chambers and sending chambers and larger chambers. Here, so okay, the wall of the ventricles, it is a thicker than the, so the wall of the ventricles, it is a thicker than the auricles. Okay, right. Next one, the wall of the left ventricle, the wall of the left ventricle, it is a thicker than the right ventricle. The wall of the left ventricle is also thicker than the right ventricle, right. Next, okay, so inner surface of these ventricles, inner surface of the ventricles, it is having a ridges like structure. Okay, inner surface of the ventricle having ridges like structures. Okay, inner surface of the ventricles are having ridges. Okay, right. Here the inner surface of the left ventricle is also having, it is a ridge like structures. Okay, these are the fibrous materials or fibrous structures are having ridges. Okay, so these ridges are called, the ridges are called, these ridges are called, okay, so columnae carneae, columnae carneae. Yes, these ridges are called columnae carneae. So they are also called as trabeculae carneae. These columnae carneae is also called as trabeculae, trabeculae carneae. Yes, columnae carneae and trabeculae carneae. So among these trabeculae carneae or columnae carneae, some of them are very long, very large or long structures which okay comes to fall into this lumen of the okay, chamber of the ventricles. So these structures which are coming, okay, from the columnae carne, these are called as papillary muscles. Okay, these structures are called, so these are called papillary muscles. Papillary muscles. Yes, these are the papillary muscles. Next one. So these papillary muscles connect with the tricuspid and bicuspid valve with the help of a fibrous connections. Means I am telling here. So the okay, columnae carne, in columnae carne, some of them will come out into long structures. They are called as papillary muscles. They are very larger than the columnae carne, and so these papillary muscles connect with the tricuspid wall, and these papillary muscles connect with the bicuspid wall. So with the help of a connection are called as, so they are heartstrings. These connections are called heartstrings. Okay, these are the connections which connect with the walls, means okay, tricuspid and bicuspid walls are called as, so these are the heartstring or chorditendinae. So these structures, okay, these structures are called heartstrings, or they are also called as, okay, chorditendinae. Okay, chorditendinae, heartstrings or chorditendinae. Okay, so these chorditendinae prevents the rupturing of these cuspid walls, mean tricuspid wall and bicuspid wall. When ventricles get systole, so means they will contract. The blood which is present in the ventricles, they will go into the pulmonary vein and also so aorta. But so at that time, these bicuspid and tricuspid wall will closes. Okay, when these walls will closes, the pressure it creates on the pressure, the flow of the blood, it creates on the pressure when ventricles are getting systole. So that is why from with that pressure, so in some times the pressure it is very high. So if there is no chorditendinae, the tricuspid and bicuspid wall will damage. To prevent the rupture of the bicuspid and tricuspid wall, so these heartstring will help in that manner. Okay, right. Okay, so this is about the internal structure of the heart. Okay, next one. So in the ventricles, I already told that, so ventricles are the sending chambers. The ventricles will send blood into the all body parts with the help of two major blood vessels. They are called as pulmonary artery and also systemic artery. So here I will draw the diagram of those two. Okay, right here. Okay, here the blood vessel which collect the blood from the right ventricle is called, so this is the pulmonary artery. This is the pulmonary artery. Next, so the blood vessel which receives blood from the left ventricle, it is the largest blood vessel in the human body. So this is called aorta. It is called aorta, and also it is called systemic artery. It is also called as systemic artery. It is the very largest blood vessel in the human body, right? So this pulmonary artery, okay, it will send blood to the lungs, means it carries blood to the lungs for the getting oxygenation here. So the aorta, it will send to all body parts. Okay, so it is a aorta will receive oxygenated blood, so pulmonary artery it receives deoxygenated, means okay, at the right part of the heart it is having deoxygenated blood, left part of the heart it is having oxygenated blood. So that is why from the left ventricle. So the aorta, it receives the oxygenated blood and it's sent to all body parts. Okay, this is the internal structure of the heart. It is the internal structure of the heart. So in the next video we will discuss about the sinoatrial node, and so auriculoventricular means nodal tissue.